and go to Google Classroom and go ahead and open the MyBreakfast project. Okay, right here at the top, MyBreakfast. And we are going to be planning our meal plans. So today we're going to create our daily food plans to meet our current U.S. Department of Agriculture dietary guidelines. Now, you know what the United States Department of Agriculture dietary guidelines are. We've been going over it for weeks when we're talking about MyPlate. Okay, so the MyPlate website and all of those dietary guidelines are created by the United States Department of Agriculture. Okay, and those dietary guidelines, the MyPlate guidelines, are what we're going to follow today as we're working on our meal plans. So you should have opened a page that looks like this, MyPlate Breakfast. And yesterday at the end of class, I asked you guys to think about breakfast foods. Think about what kinds of foods you eat for breakfast from all of the different food groups. And in the chat, I want you guys to kind of give me a shout out of what some of those breakfast foods are. So, tell me what you're eating for breakfast, guys. Jacob, banana, great. That's a good one. Okay. Heather, milk is a dairy. Yes. Okay. Definitely part of breakfast. Eggs. Liz has eggs. Liz, what food group is that going to fit in? Yes, great. Grace, I saw you raise your hand.
My Chromebook's at 1% and I can't find my charger right now.
Okay.
That whole grain cereal.
Okay, whole grain cereal. Yes, that would be a great one. Why don't you go see if you can find your charger and then come back to us, okay? Because I don't know how long 1% is going to last for you.
Okay, if it dies, I will complete this assignment later.
Okay, Grace. I want you to see as much as you can about what's going on. Okay, how about Giselle or Nick or Reagan? What breakfast foods can you give me?
I had omelets this morning, but you know.
Okay, so omelets. So that what was in your omelet, Nick?
Green pepper, green onion, and I think ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese. Okay, so let's pull this omelet apart for you, Nick. All right. What food group is Nick's eggs going to be in? Who can tell me? Liz already told us, basically. Eggs are going to be protein. Okay. And then your green pepper, right? That was what food group?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. Okay. How about you said you had some onion. What would that follow into?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. Okay. And then what else was in your omelet?
Ham and cheese.
Ham and cheese. Okay. So your ham would be?
Protein.
Protein. And your cheese would be?
Dairy.
Dairy. Yes. Okay. So, Nick, I think your omelet would be an excellent item to put on your breakfast plate. Okay. So, and you can pull it apart the way we just did. Okay. So we'll look at your omelet as one of our options, when we're working on our plan. Okay. So everybody's going to have a different breakfast plate. And I want you guys, your first step is I want you to find some images that you can add to your breakfast plate. And you can simply go to Google and find an image and just bring it up and put it on your plate. Okay, now you might have to scale your picture a little bit. Maybe you need to crop it a little bit. Ugh, I hate that red circle. I don't know how I got that. so that it kind of fits on your plate. All right, and I'm going to look for an omelet like Nick had. I'd almost call your omelet pretty close to a Western omelet there, Nick. Looking to see what's a good picture here. That's a casserole. Oh, that looks like it's not going to be very clear. That one looks pretty good. All right, and then I'm going to get rid of all this extra stuff. Okay, now I kind of put the omelet in two sections of the My Plate. Okay, and the reason I did that is I'm going to have my vegetables are going to be inside my omelet, and my eggs or my protein are going to be on the outside of my omelet. So I kind of overlap the two. All right. Next, I'm going to come up here to this like line section, and I'm going to kind of draw a little line off to the side, and then I'm going to bring my protein box down. And I'm going to say for my protein, I have eggs and I have ham. Okay, and then for my vegetables, I'm going to bring my vegetable text box over here. I'm going to make another line. Okay, and then for my vegetables, I'm going to have green peppers. And I'm going to have onions. Okay, now, if you guys need to make the plate a little smaller, make the text a little smaller to fit everything on, because we're going to put a lot more information in this text box, you may have to move some things around, okay? And that's fine. Or maybe you make the back of this box. I think there's a way to make the back of the box white. I don't know if no. Maybe I don't know how to do that. Maybe you guys do. You could kind of put your vegetables up over the fork if you need to, as long as you can read the information. Okay. So you're gonna find a breakfast with all 5 food groups. I'm gonna round mine out here with a glass of milk. That's gonna give me milk glass, and I want glass of milk. Okay. This guy. Actually, I like the blue because that's the color of the food group. Okay, and I'm going to put my milk right here. And obviously he would be a little big. Okay, so your plate should be filling up with food right now. You should be finding different food items. All right, and I'm going to make him a little bit smaller. Bring my dairy over. All right. So I'm going to come look at what you guys have. Okay, Ethan's filling up his plate. Right. Ethan turned his in. Ethan, are you here in class? No. Okay. I'll reach back out to Ethan. I think he skipped a few steps. Reagan, what food are you putting in on yours? I don't see any food in there yet.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay, so start with something. You can always change it, okay? Get something on your plate. Giselle, how about you? What are you going to put on yours?
I don't know exactly yet.
Okay, figure out something, okay? Think about what we put in the text box. Think about what you normally eat for breakfast. Okay? Heather, how about you? What are you putting on your plate?
Some French toast.
Okay.
Bacon.
All right, get those pictures and get them on there. Nick, how about you? You were going to do the omelet, right? So get that Western omelet pulled onto your plate. Jacob, I see pictures on yours. Great job. Okay, looks like you're starting with some pancakes, I think. Let's see. I think that's what I could see from the little thumbnail. Yes, very nice. And it's in the right spot, Jacob. Good job. Okay, and so your next step is you can just pull over your grains box here. Okay, and then you can write pancakes right next to your grains. All right, and then move on to your next food. Okay, let's see. Grace was probably going to disappear on me, she said, because of her computer dying. Liz, it looks like you've got some eggs started there. All right. Kaden, what food are you putting on your plate? Are you there, Kaden? Oh, here we go. I can see. Okay. Okay. Eggs. Did you mean home fries, eggs, and bacon? That would be a great start. Home fries, eggs, and bacon. Home fries are going to go. What food group are his home fries going to go into? Can anybody tell me? Not grains. What are home fries? Potatoes. Yes. Yes, potatoes. Okay. And so what food group do our potatoes go in? Anybody know? Where do we keep our potatoes? Vegetables. Good job, Kaden. Okay. Now, when we get a little further, which we may not get to this part until tomorrow, and we start to look at how many calories we're accumulating for our meal, then we may find that potatoes are not the lowest calorie vegetable that we could find. But they are a vegetable and we do eat them for breakfast. So they definitely fit in that section, whether it's hash browns or home fries. We often have that as a side with our meal during breakfast time. Okay, so Kaden, get those pictures on your plate. All right, the home fries, eggs, and bacon. All you have to do is Google it. Just Google a picture of home fries here. All right, lots of options. That's making me hungry. Oh, and here's some that have vegetables mixed in. You could add your vegetables with your home fries as well. Okay, let's pop back over here. Okay, so Jacob, what are you going to add besides your pancakes? Nick, how about you? What are you adding now? Did you get your omelet on?
I'm going to add a smoothie.
Okay.
I think that's it. I didn't have anything else today, so.
Okay. Well, I mean, it doesn't. You can make it up. You can cheat a little bit. Maybe you didn't have what?
Sometimes I have granola.
Okay, you could add that too. Brock, very nice looking plate here. You've got your milk, you've got toast, you've got strawberries and kiwi. You got your vegetables. That's looking good. Let me see if maybe I need to refresh this. Maybe I'm not seeing all of your work on the thumbnails. Let's see, because yours still looked blank, Brock. Okay. All right, and Giselle's got some, I can't quite tell what this is, but she's got something in her protein group. Reagan, I see some pancakes and eggs, it looks like. Heather's got 3 of hers. She's got French toast, bacon, and milk. And Nick's starting to get his omelet in there. Brock's doing great. You've got all your food groups and you've got your information added for them. Liz has a lot of her information done. Okay, so I'm going to share then the next step with you guys, so that because a few of you look like you're ready to keep going. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to think about how much. Oh, we don't need that. How much of the food item we're eating. So on my plate right now, I've got my vegetables and my protein, my dairy. I would need to drag over my grains and my fruits to finish this up. I need to be able to say, how many eggs am I eating? How much ham am I eating? Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do is at the same time, I want you to be able to figure out what's the equivalent then in the food groups. So we talked about your fruits, your milk, and your vegetables all, we think about those in cups, right? And you guys created the 2,000 calorie My Plate. And yesterday you created your personal My Plate, okay, where you know exactly how much you need to eat in a day. Now, this is just a meal, so you're not trying to get your daily needs in one meal, okay? You're just trying to have a little bit of everything. You don't want to have 5.5 eggs and get all your protein in one meal. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell me how much of the food item, and then you're going to tell me its equivalent. So how do you do that? Okay, you have 2 options for where to find your information. You can either go back into Google Classroom and open your web quest. Okay, so for example, here I have my fruits web quest. You guys should have this completed in your Google Classroom from months ago, right? When we talked about fruits. And you're going to look at the chart. Sorry, mine's being a little slow. Okay, so I was eating a banana. Okay, that's what I put down. I can decide, am I eating 1 cup of banana? Am I eating a large banana? I think I'm going to eat a small banana, okay? Because I'm kind of putting my banana on my pancakes, so I don't think it would be a large banana. So I'm going to copy that information over. And I need to put my fruits in so that I can. Banana. Put this up here. I'm going to add my line to bananas. Okay, so I'm having one small banana, and then what is that equivalent to in the fruits group? So, sorry, back to my web quest. I look up, and up at the top, okay, my one small banana is equal to a half a cup of fruit. Okay. So now I've got my fruits done. Now I'm going to do that with each of my foods. Okay, so for my grains, I had pancakes. And I may need to shift some stuff a little bit because my grains, I'm going to run out of space here, I think. But I'll worry about that once I get the information in. Okay, so I'm going to open my grains web quest because I know pancakes was on my grains web quest chart. Now, if you wanted to, you could open this information directly on the MyPlate website. Okay, you would not have to open the web quest. You could just look at the website, and then you could go back and forth from one food group to another. But some people just find it easier to look on the chart that they've already used on their web quest. Okay, so I'm going to come down to pancakes, and I'm going to do the 3 pancakes because that's what the picture is of. And that's a normal serving. Okay, so that didn't copy very well. Okay, so this is going to be pancakes. Now yours would probably already be filled out. Mine wasn't.
I have a question.
Yes.
I put like protein powder in my smoothie
Mm-hmm.
in the morning. Do I just count that as protein as well? Because I put a lot of stuff in my smoothie.
Okay, and you're high calorie, aren't you, Nick? You needed a lot of calories too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I would suggest, and this is really a great learning opportunity. Look at your protein powder nutrition label, okay, and see what it talks about. See if it says it's not going to tell you an equivalent, but maybe it will tell you that it's like a normal protein powder shake would be 50% of your daily protein needs. I'm not sure. Why don't you look at the label on the protein powder and bring that to class tomorrow and let's look at it.
Okay.
Okay? That's a very interesting extension on the project. But you are not the first person that is like in sports and really paying attention to like their protein intakes. So we can look at that and kind of investigate it further. Okay, so I've got my 3 pancakes, and then that's going to be 3 ounces of grains. Okay, and I'm going to make it look the same way I did over here. So I'm going to put my 3 ounces, bold underline, make it a little bigger. Okay, just like I've got over here with fruits. And I think I need to take everything and just kind of shift it down a little bit so I have a little bit more room for my grains. Now you want to keep everything on the canvas. Okay, the canvas is the box that runs around the outside edge. So I want to get that My Plate text up there a little bit. But I could always, if you need to make this a little bit smaller to fit on, you can. Okay. All right. So it looks like I've got my fruits and my grains done. And now I would need to move on and look at my milk, my protein, and my vegetables. And you guys could just have your web quests open in tabs on your computer to be able to kind of look at that and analyze that. All right. I'm going to click back over. What time are we done with class, guys? Anybody know? I got to set an alarm to remind me about the end of class for this period.
50.
What?
50.
50. Okay, so we'll just wrap up here. Okay. All right. So, today what I want you guys to accomplish is at least, let's see, at least like what Brock has. Okay, so he has all of his foods, his pictures on there, and he's told me what food items he has. Okay, and then he's starting to tell me how much food. Okay, so he's starting to tell me his 2 eggs, but he has all of his pictures on the plate and he has all of his food groups on the canvas. And he's now ready to keep working on the how much food he's eating. Okay. So for tomorrow's class, you want to have at least what Brock has. You want to have the pictures, the food listed out in the correct areas of the plate. Okay. And then we will continue to work tomorrow on how much of the food item and what does that equate to in the protein group or the grains group or the dairy group. Does that make sense? Now, if you guys go ahead and try and figure that out for yourselves, then when you come to class tomorrow, I'll just like check it for you and let you know if you're missing something or if 1 or 2 of them isn't maybe right. And then you can just work on changing what isn't right. Okay, so if you work ahead, then you're going to be in a better spot. But what you really need to have done is like what you can see here on Brock's plate, which is all of his pictures and all of his food groups with the food listed out. Okay, and then we'll pick back up tomorrow. Again, I would really suggest come to class tomorrow because working through this as a group with me will be much better for your grade. And actually, because of how much work it is, I think I'm going to go back and make it worth more points because it's taken us 2 class periods. So I think it should be worth at least 20 points, if not more.